Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? In today's video, I am going to give you 3 steps that will help you as a deck builder so that you can create a deck that is competitive in the format and that you enjoy playing. And in order to do that, I'm also going to introduce you to the best archetype currently in the game during the Emerald Dream expansion. So without further ado, let's get right into it. If you have been playing on ladder, you've probably seen a lot of Demon Hunter. There's a list that runs Arcanite Defense Crystal, and we are going to rebuild that deck, okay? Before the expansion launched, this was one of the deck ideas that I introduced in my spoiler video, and I had a list, and I played that list, and it's been crazy, and the list is very similar to other lists, but with key differences. And I'm going to show you that if you follow these 3 steps as a deck builder, you are going to come to a competitive list similar to other things you see, because every true deck builder uses the same steps, okay? So first step, number 1, is to find a core concept or card or cards that you want to build around. So for us, Demon Hunter, it released a few new cards. This Ravenous Fell Hunter, the 5-mana 5/3 demon, when it dies, it summons a death rattle that costs 4 or less. We want to use that synergy with Arcanite Defense Crystal. But that's not all we want to do. We also want to use it with, whoops. Why is this not giving me? Okay, there you go. We also want to use it with Ferocious Fellbat, the 7/7/5 that when it dies, it resurrects a 5-mana minion. So by playing the 5-mana guy, the Ferocious Fell, where is he? What is his name? The Ravenous Fell Hunter. We're going to get Arcanite Defense Crystals, and by playing Ferocious Fellbat, we're going to get more of the Ravenous Fell Hunters. So that's the key concept. I want to build around that and that. These 2 cards. Now, if we already know that we're going to build around Arcanite Defense Crystal as the 4-drop, right? But if I didn't know what to build around, I could press Death Rattle, and I could see all the Death Rattle standard cards there. So, believe me, playing Crewmate Death Rattle, that could be viable. That could be very, very viable. Like that, I'm not saying that's not viable. Finding like a demon list might be viable. There are other options. Finding like maybe a way to discount most of your hand using Dragonkin, that is viable. There are other ideas to do here. But for us, we are going to use Arcanite Defense Crystal, right? Taunt Death Rattle for gain 4 armor. So we're going to add that to the deck. This is our core concept. This is the engine that we want to build around. This is to get millions and millions of armor. That's our goal. Now, once you have figured out step 1, you have to figure out the supporting cards to support the key idea. That is step 2. Find the supporting cards. And how do you do that? You look for synergies and keywords, okay? So I know that my pool of Death Rattle cannot have any more than these, because if I put another Death Rattle card in here, the chances are I might poison the pool of cards that I get, right? So I'll look for the Death Rattle keyword, but I'm not looking for creatures. I'm looking for other Death Rattle synergy. Spawning pool, no. Tusk Piercer, Death Rattle draw, Death Rattle minion. That sounds great. This is an ability to draw one of my 3 Death Rattles. This is a minion I don't want. These are minions I don't want. Return policy, discover a friendly Death Rattle card you play. This game triggers Death Rattle. So more value, we'll take that. Here's a minion. We don't want it. We don't want these minions. We don't want this weapon. Okay, we've gone through that. Let's look at more. What are more options here? Are there any more options in neutrals that we want? These are mostly minions. We don't want them. They don't really push forward our game plan in any way. We don't want to poison our pool. Anything that stands out? No, nothing good there. Okay, so we've gone through Death Rattle synergy. What other synergies can we find with these creatures? Okay, well, let's look at starships. This is a starship, right? So let's find starship support. Let's start with our class cards, of course. Here's 2 starships, we play it. Here's another 2, we play it. This is the spell, we play it. Now, let's go check neutrals. Exodar, this is a win condition, so we definitely play it. Probably don't need this. But Exodar is great because obviously Exodar, if our starship gets huge, we can double our armor, or we can just kill the opponent with the OTK, right? So there's that option. And this is pretty much our core. I mean, I don't know, maybe even Carnivorous Cubicle, because we can destroy one of our minions and bring it back again. So yeah, I'll put in 1. And I would consider this now, step 2 is done. We filled out a core. This is about 50% of the deck, a little bit more than 50% of the deck. So now what I want to do, the final step, is I want to smoothen out my mana curve and fill it in with utility, okay? And when I'm talking about utility, I mean multiple things. I mean card value, card draw, spot removal, and AoE removal. Okay, so that is what utility is, right? So I noticed through my deck, I'm very heavy on the 3 drop, but I'm pretty light on the early game. So I want more of the early game. So first thing I'll do is I'm gonna add card draw. So I'm gonna just type draw and look. So anything that gives me card draw, I'm gonna consider a decent card. Crimson Sigil Runner, it's a 1 drop. I could play this, but it just 1/1 is not what I want on 1. The patches I'll add because this is just very good card draw. We don't really want to go through explaining it right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and add patches. Chaos Strike, give your hero +2 attack and draw a card. I like this. We're gonna add that. Grim Harvest, draw a card, summon a minion, even though it's delayed. Sure, let's take that. Spectral Sight, draw a card. Sure, let's take that. I think that might be. And that looks like it's pretty good on card draw. Oh, look here, this is option Ancient of Yore. That might be something. But we'll pass over it for now. I like that all. Ceaseless Expanse. I know I got this endgame sub for the combo.
What are one?
So I beat it, my boy. So here's Ceaseless Expanse. I think I want that. I'm gonna add that. Okay, so I've added card draw. Now I gotta think about other things like removal and maybe early game creatures to help me get to my final game plan.
Why is only one silly saving?
I beat it, that's why, my boy. So
You beat two of them, Daddy?
I did, yes, I did. So looking through this, let's see, what other cards can we add? Like, what's a good value thing to fill out my deck? Infiltrate, that's an option. But, you know, I'm assuming my board is going to go pretty wide at some points in the game. I don't think I necessarily need that. Here's more removal. That's a pretty decent card, actually. Wyvern Slumber, that's not too bad. Maybe Cane for the mirror. You know, I don't know. And actually, I want more 1-drops. I'm kind of light on 1-drops. So I'm looking for like a 2/2 body or a 2/3 body at 1. So something 3/5. Okay, but that's dead. Okay, here, 2/2. Like this will heal both your heroes, the critter caretaker. But I don't care about damage. I don't care about early game damage. I'm not an aggro deck. I just want to heal life and stall till I get my combo. So I'll add them in. And now, if I don't know what to put, I'm going to fill it out with a legendary. Fill it out with some big bomb cards. So strong value cards. I don't want to play any of those. Zai, that's a playable card, maybe. Yeah, no. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, well, Black Knight, that's an option, right? But how about Xavius, so I can get I can tutor up a minion. I like that. We'll grab that. And then what else do we got here? Bob, that's a choice, right? And then kill Jaden, right? Kill Jaden. So giving me that inevitability in the mirror, assuming that we are able to bait each other's Exodars out. So right there, this is 30 cards. And if I took this list and I went to HS Replay, yeah, sure. Or if I went to
Got 9 packs.
Yeah, you can open those. If I go to HS Replay and let's just look at Armored Demon Hunter, we'll just compare what we have here. So he's running Illidari Studies. That's the card we're not using. Immolation Aura, Mixologist, and Infiltrate. So that is an 8-card difference. So this is 8-card difference from 8-card difference from what we're currently running. And if we compare like other decks, look, here's Critter Caretaker. That's what we're running. This guy's running Creature of Mammoth. Ancient of Yore, that's a card we discuss about potentially running. Wyvern Slumber, that's a card we discuss about potentially running. Here's Spectral Sight. This is a card that we run. The Slumbering Sprite, I didn't talk about that. I didn't see that one. So you can see by looking through the list, like all these lists are very flexible and very close. And all we had to do in order to build it was just go through those three steps. So once again, those three steps are define a core idea that you want to play around, whether it's a legendary card or a combination of cards. In this case, where we're talking about Ravenous Fell Hunter and Ferocious Selvac.
Stop it.
Step 2 is to find the supporting cards that support your key idea. So the best way to do that is like a keyword search, or establishing the synergies that work well with that. And then step 3 is, of course, to smoothen out your curve and to fill in the rest of your deck with utility to support your main idea. So in this case, we're stalling, looking for a longer game plan. So we're looking for more defensive oriented creatures in the beginning, and types of removal and plays and tutors. A more aggressive deck would probably look for more burst or reach from hand. You just have to play that by ear. But anyway, yeah, this is the deck, and I've already built that deck here. This is exactly the same list. I mean, yeah, like that's exactly the same list. So like that's my advice to you. Go out, use these 3 steps, and build the deck you want to build. I'll show you other decks in the future, and I'll show you how we built it with the same idea. And you'll see that when we look at decks online, the core cards are about the same. Like we're looking at 65 to 80% of the deck being identical to other decks, because this is what Blizzard wants you to do. It wants you to play with these ideas, right? And many people are going to come to the same conclusion. So anyway, that's it. I hope you like this video. Catch you next time.